Hi there, it's Suzanne here with a project that you might have seen before in a blog post on Elizabeth Craft Designs, but we're going to do something a little different this time. We're going to add some extra fun. Many of these Away with Words dies can stand on their own with a little help, but if you add some embellishments to them, they can make awesome home decor. For Christmas, you can add them around the house, on the tree, on a mantle, on the dining table. Spread the cheer. Here's how we do it. We're going to die cut two of the season's greetings and decide which one we want on the front. I think I'm going to save the red one for the front and put that aside for now. And we're going to take the back one. And what we're going to do is run a score line across here so that we can flip that. We can hinge that out, like in this one that's already completed. You can see how that hinges and is glued together at the top. So here we have that. I'm just going to turn it sideways because it's easier. And I'm going to use the Tim Holtz ruler here and find the edge, and I'm going to put that edge along the base line of the lettering. So bring out your inner calligrapher and find the base line on the lettering. And then what you can do is take your bone folder and dent, basically run a score line across these flourishes. Now you have to be kind of gentle. Another tool you can use is from Susan Tierney Coburn's flower molding set, and it has a little ball tool here, and that's actually kind of good for these flourishes. So you're going to dent them, you're not going to rip them, be careful. Okay, and you can see where that is, and that's straight across. So once you have this scored, you can just give it a little finger fold along the score line so you know where that is, and it's going to be bending backwards. So just kind of gently. This works pretty well on heavier cardstock. And now you're going to want to put adhesive just above that score line. So if you're into wet glue, you can use I quite like this, the pen tip on the Tombow multi adhesive. It comes out in a nice little drop. See? Just tiny little bits if you want to do that, if you like wet glue. It also gives you a little bit of open time so that you can move things around if you need to do that. Another thing you can use is small little pieces of double-sided adhesive, or my usual go-to is glue dots because I'm lazy. So I'll peel a glue dot off the release paper here, and I'll roll it with my fingernail, and then I'll use my fingernail to put it in place. Now these are the micro glue dots. And then turn it around, and it doesn't need a whole lot of adhesive. Just place it right on top. It's that simple. And make sure they're lined up. Sometimes some of these free letters are kind of unruly. I want to get them in line. And then you're going to let it dry. If you've used wet glue, if not, you can open it up right away. See how this goes. And there you go. And it will just sit up on a surface. Now, this particular design works really well because the flourishes are balanced, and I certainly didn't design it with this in mind, but it gives it quite a nice base, and it sits straight. Now, not all the designs will do that. For instance, the Merry Christmas won't do that because it has a big flourish at the bottom. I'll show you how you can solve some of those other problems. And what makes these really fun is when you take the designs and you add in stars or snowflakes. And you can leave these around the house. You can put them on the tree, you can put them on the mantle, you could put them on somebody's pillowcase if you want. I have one here that's happy birthday, and that'd make a great little ornament on a table, or you could put it on their pillow, or anywhere in the house. The stars you can find in the Make-A-Wish die set, or in the Calligraphic Elements 3 die set, and the snowflakes are in the Brrrrrrr die set. And I did do the Brrrrrrr. You can have a look at it here. So I had to trim off that flourish to make it sit square, because like I say, none of these were designed to stand upright, but with a little help, they can do wonders. Now, how do we get these little things like they're floating above? Well, we're going to take some transparency film. And I don't know why I have such a big box of these, because it's almost full and I've had it for years. You can get inkjet transparencies too, and you can use those. They seem to have a little film on them, so they're not quite as clear, but they work just fine. And then cut them into strips. So here I have a strip of transparency film. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my glue dots. And I'm going to put a glue dot. Oh, come on. And then I have a little tray over here of gold. You could do silver, you could do colored ones. So let's try a star. And then I'm going to take the sticky side of that and I'm just going to plop it on the back of the star. And then I'm going to decide where I want. Let's do that. Now I think if I adhere it right there, that's a good start, but I'm going to want to adhere it back behind there too so that it doesn't flop around too much. So I'm going to do it from the back here, and I'm going to peel off a glue dot, and I said I was going to do it there. And again, I'm just peeling these off with my fingernail, this high-tech tool that I always have with me. And let's put that over there. And take my star and put it there. And then you can have that stick up as far as you want. It's a bit flexible, so you don't want it sticking up too far. And you don't want this hanging out too far either. So you're going to take your tiny little scissors, which are the handy dandiest little things, and you're going to trim that off. And you can keep that, and you might use it somewhere else. So there you have that. I'm getting annoyed with that R. And then we're going to take, oh, let's do a snowflake now. And I'm going to take the snowflake and another strip of transparency and another glue dot behind the snowflake. Just push it onto place. And then let's see where we put that. How about right way above? How about there? And then it's going to come down behind the O. A little higher, then it looks like a little snowstorm happening. It just makes it really fun that it seems to be floating above. And then you can add a few others if you want. Oh, don't forget to trim it though. There we go. Keep that. And there you have it. And it only shows up in some light, but it makes a very cool little project that looks really nice sitting up on the branches of a tree or on a mantle, like I suggested. And let's show you some of the other ones. There's the Noel. Now that's all in gold. Now I'm not sure how that's showing up on the camera. Gold tends not to do that. However, I seem to like gold a lot, so I use it quite a lot. And the back of that is just a blue color, and that might look really good in silver. So most of these are just fine. Well, winter, I did have to trim off the bottom of the flourish there, but it sits up just fine. You won't be able to see it sitting up there, but I have another picture of it that you can see. And with Merry Christmas, let's try this. I haven't actually tried this. We're going to put the red aside. And now the M, we're going to want to run, we have to catch the top of those letters. Now let's just check and see where the baseline is here. So we want to go straight across. That's why we're looking for the baseline down here at the bottom of Christmas. And that looks pretty good. And then we'll grab one of Susan's tools again, because it actually is a bit finer than using a bone folder, which really isn't meant for this kind of fine detail. And across. And all this part above the ruler here is going to fold backwards. Now you can tell from just looking at this that it is going to need some trimming. So let's just do this. This just helps it form the tent shape. And there we go. And then we're going to flatten it back out again because we want to add adhesive. And I'm just going to use the glue dots for this because it's dry adhesive and it doesn't take long to set up. It doesn't take any time to set up. And you don't need a whole lot of adhesive. It doesn't have to be glued everywhere. And then add the top die cut. Now of course that's going to tip over. I don't know if you could see that. So we're going to have to do a little bit of surgery here. And this ruler has a metal edge, so I'm going to use that because I'm going to use my X-Acto on it. Now I want to make sure these are lined up nicely, the front and the back. And if you don't have lines on your mat, then look for that baseline on the ruler and sit your baseline on one of the lines here. Okay. And if you don't go along the baseline, then the word isn't going to sit straight. So we're going to do this. And we're going to cut right through the whole 2 layers. And that still looks okay. Going to be okay with that. You just have to be a bit careful about where you put the stars coming off. So it's really a fun project. And you can sit that down and you can go, okay, I want a snowflake there, and I want a little star over here, and I want another little star over here. And because this is not got a lot of support on this side, you want to have a little bit more weight on that side. So what we might do is change that around and do that. But if you stick to Season's Greetings like Noel, which are pretty straight across the bottom, then you'll have no problem. And you'll have a whole bunch of cool little ornaments that you can have around the house all season. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. See you next time.